The superpower that every citizen has is the ability to control where they spend their time, money, and attention. By focusing these on supporting local businesses, you are having a profound impact on your friends, your family, and your local community. So if you want to change the world, you can start with buying local. Welcome back, everyone, to Buying Local. If it's your first time listening, what we typically do on these episodes is we sit down with local business owners and people that are in the local community, Warren, Washington, and Saratoga County, talk about who they are, what they do, kind of help to tell their story a little bit and help you, the listener, hear about who they are and what they do. Today, I am joined by, and I have to fix my glasses because it's driving me crazy, joined by Kris Brunelle. Brunelle, right?
Yep.
Okay. From White Glove
Janitorial service.
So I'm glad you said that because I was going to say white glove cleaning, and I even looked earlier, and I still was going to mess that up. Which
that's okay.
If this is not your first episode, you know how often I mess things up. So welcome, Kris.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I want to just highlight for the moment that you're a veteran. That you at what branch?
So I was Navy. I did the Seabees, which
Seabees, yeah,
construction battalion.
Yeah. I got a few friends that were Seabees actually.
Good.
And do you bring that experience, the Seabees, like that construction? Does that come into play in your everyday life? I mean, I imagine there's some pretty good skills that you acquired there.
There really is, and it's not just my military experience. It's all of my experience. I've been, just watching business owners and managers and taking the things that I like and the things that I don't like.
Yeah.
Obviously this was a significant period of my life. It was 5 years active. So I was able to really absorb all the things that I liked. I really liked the small unit leadership. One person can get word out to 3 people who gets word out to 3 more people who gets word out to 3 more people. And so in a matter of minutes, you can tell 600 people one thing.
Yeah.
And able to manage it effectively, because one person can't really manage 600 people, but you can through small unit leadership, and that's what I try to do through my business. Empower my crew to make decisions. So they know exactly what I would do in a situation like this, what the right thing to do in the situation is. So they don't have to call me. They always have the ability to call me because we're, still small. Mm-hmm. But as we grow, they're going to call their managers, and their managers will have more information on what I would do in that situation. And if they don't, I'm just a phone call away.
So do you have like an SOP for everything that happens in your organization?
I don't yet. So we actually just celebrated our first anniversary.
Oh, nice. Congratulations.
It's working, and honestly, I don't know how. It's just working. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Yeah. So let's talk about it. So how did White Glove come to be? Like what did you hit your head really hard and then decide that you want to own your own business? I always wonder because owning your own business is not easy, right?
No, it's not. So there's a lot of reasons I started this. One of the biggest ones is for my daughter. I've been wanting to start my own business for a long time. But the real kicker was I want to be there for my daughter as much as I can. And owning your own business is really the only way to have the flexibility that you need.
It's the truest path to freedom is what I say all the time. The truest path to freedom is to either be a small business owner, an entrepreneur, but it's got to be one of those things. Like you have to own your own business to truly be free.
I wanted to show my daughter that you don't have to have a 9-to-5 job. A 9-to-5 job is great. It gives a lot of security, but also there's really not much you can do to affect your future. My wife is a teacher, and she gets set income every week. We can plan the bills around that.
Yeah.
And that's a really great thing. And it's a really great thing for a lot of people. And I do really love the stability that it provides. Mm-hmm. No matter what, no matter how the business is going, we have that income, and that's a great thing. But I wanted to show my daughter that's not the only way. I was working for my cousin last summer, and he owns Bullseye Party Tents.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Sealy.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Oh, no kidding. What a small world. I didn't realize that.
And so he had left his full-time job to go
Yeah.
full-time with his business, which leaves his winters available. So we were driving around the truck all summer long. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? What are we going to do? I've been in sales for years. I
Yeah.
love sales. Before that, I went to Siena on my GI Bill. I studied business and marketing and communication. And that was because my wife wasn't ready for me to take the leap yet.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think she's still ready for me to take the leap, but we're here now.
But well, you're deep, right?
Yep,
So,
yep. And so that's how it really started. I started thinking about the services that we needed in the area. For a long time, I kept coming up with these crazy ideas. You know, I came up and I did a business plan for a virtual reality arcade, which would be super cool.
sounds fun.
And I'm really glad I didn't do it. A friend of mine had one, and I watched all the struggles and all the headaches he had with just technology. So while I was in the military, we did a lot of cleaning. That's something you do. And it's very important for a lot of reasons, one of which being readiness, right? And it comes down to if all the little things are taken care of, then the big things are no big deal. Right?
Yeah.
Because you have everything in order. And that can come down to just having toilet paper, right?
Yeah.
Like that's something that business owners shouldn't have to worry about is, you know, are the trash refilled? Are the toilet papers refilled? Paper towels?
Yeah.
They can do what they're going to do. When I went to Siena, I thought I was going to go for marketing. I thought that was a good skill to have either way. But at the end of the day, I am terrible with social media, and that's the way of the world these days. You know what I mean? There's other creative ways to get your name out there. Typically, I do a lot of just networking, and that's what I do now. But I didn't want to be a marketer, but I did want to help others, right? And that's where it started. So when I was in the military, we did a lot of cleaning, and I did a lot of managing, and there's always going to be dirt. There's always going to be dirt.
Yeah.
We were just talking about this with my crew today. You know, they were frustrated because they're cleaning Taco Bell and they're working. And even if they weren't working, there's still, you know, you wipe off a surface and then the dust resettles.
Yeah.
It's like, well, we're going to have to come back again. And once everything settles. And
No,
wipe
that's
up.
a post-construction cleanup that they're doing?
Yep.
Not a active open Taco Bell cleaning.
Correct. Our main bread and butter, as you say, would be, you know, weekly, daily cleaning of commercial spaces.
Okay.
But this is a little extra side work, you know, helps pays the bills.
Yeah.
And it really helps hunt companies because they can offer a better product. You know, everything is sound, you know, materially, but just giving that little bit of shine gives their customers the peace of mind to know that everything was done correctly and they have a really good fresh start.
Yeah, and I was curious how that works. So with the post-construction cleanup, is it that hunt companies goes in, they do the deal, they build the building, the building is built, and before they hand it over to the client, they have you guys come in and detail it, so to speak, right?
Yeah.
Clean it up, make it shiny.
Yep. And that's a part of something that they have to do anyways, but they specialize in construction. And as we said earlier, I am familiar with that world. What I did in the military was construction. You know, we build. Our motto was we build, we fight. So I'm very familiar with the construction aspect of it and all the mess that it makes.
Yeah. So, and I probably interrupted, but so you were working for Eric and had this idea, or we're coming up with a couple of different ideas, right? So you had the virtual arcade, which does sound cool, but as you say, I'm sure there's a lot of, you know, every business has problems, and I know that one of the best ways to keep yourself, you know, quote unquote, in the money, so to speak, or at least working, is to do something that no one else wants to do, right? So, so how did you land on cleaning? Was it like that simple, or were you just like, hey, no one else wants to do this crap?
Yep, it really was that simple. It was just me. I didn't have a job because the summer job ended. And I'm like, well, I'm going to go out and I am going to get a DBA, which is $30. Go to the county building. It takes an hour. And it was one of the proudest days of my life. Like, I finally started something. And with the DBA, you can go and you can get a bank account. And when you have those things, you can go get a credit card. and I racked up a whole bunch of credit card debt just getting cleaning supplies. And I was cleaning houses for my friends, and I was noticing as I'm cleaning houses, there's a lot to be careful of. There's a lot of different surfaces you can damage with your cleaners. If you knock over grandma's ashes, you know what I mean? Like, that's irreplaceable. People don't take grandma's ashes to the office typically.
Right.
And I got a mentorship program. It's Mike Mack. It's the Janitorial Entrepreneur, and they take you step by step, break it down Barney style. Like this. It's not, this is what you should do to start a cleaning business. This is how we run our cleaning business. And the difference, the slight difference there is huge, because I was able to talk to their crew and specific questions on pricing and hiring and all of the other little things that they do. They give it out. That's what they do. And I really, really liked the idea of what they do. I studied on YouTube on how to do it, and I ended up taking their mentorship program. And that was one of the best business decisions that I've made, is just having someone to say, yeah, this is going to totally work, or this should work in your area, and this is how we do it. This is how we handle these problems. All these problems are handled. You've got entrepreneurs since day one, right? People making money.
Yep.
And one of the hardest things that I really had to come up with is profit's not a dirty word, because you need that little bit of extra in case something happens, in case something, they knock a shower head off the wall or something like that. It's going to happen. And that's what the extra money is for. It's in there, it's accounted for. It's just part of life.
It's funny you say that too. There is a lot of, I don't know what the word is, garbage, I guess is a good word for it. But there's a lot of garbage out there about how it's evil to make profit. And what are you talking about? Like, I hear it all the time. And I know I definitely have had that head trash myself in the past. But you're right. Like, profit is the thing that, it's not about me driving a Mercedes, right? It's about the thing of like, what happens when something happens that my operations cost just can't cover, and profits. And, and hey, if nothing happens and I get a little extra profits and I get to throw some money in my kid's college account, profit is a good thing. And it's the thing that guarantees that you can continue to do the work that you are doing.
Yep.
And I can't imagine you've got huge margins doing what you're doing. It's not like you're, getting rich off any one client.
No, but I'm able to feed my family. And that goes back to, my daughter. She's 4 now, and she gets to see me, go into the accounts. And sometimes I got to take her with me to pick up or drop off or check something out, so she can see that's an option as well. And I want her to have all of the information to be able to choose whatever she wants. If she wants to go be a teacher or an architect or a lawyer or whatever that is, that's not a bad thing either, because we need that as well. For my business to work, I need people who want to work hourly. And that's a good situation for them, because the work itself isn't great. It's not fun cleaning toilets. I don't enjoy it. There is a little bit of catharsis, and that's who I look for when I find employees, is if scrubbing the walls or scrubbing a toilet, you can look at the end of the day and you have that sense of accomplishment. And that's something that I have when I clean.
Sure.
And I know there are other people out there who have that, so I can take that not so glamorous job and I can make it a good job based on, all the things that have been done to me throughout my life, unpaid meetings and overtime without notice and all of these things I didn't like. And I can provide a good job. I can provide for these families without doing that stupid crap.
Without doing those things that you hated in previous lives, right?
Yep.
I gotta say too, you mentioned the internet and the ability to learn things on the internet and YouTube, which I don't like YouTube as a company, but as a thing, like the ability to have all that knowledge. I just laugh all the time, like all the uses of the internet, all the things that we can learn and figure out. Like I love YouTube from that standpoint of the internet. Like anything I need to know in the next 5 minutes, I can Google it. I can watch a video on it. I can learn how to do it. Derek was asking me the other day about some things like, where you learn all that stuff? And I was like, YouTube, bro. Like the power of the internet, right?
Yep.
Like all the things, but it always just makes me laugh because there's so many things we can use the internet for. And some of the stupid shit that we use the internet for just boggles my mind.
Yeah, we have the vastness of the collectiveness of human knowledge.
The compendium of all human knowledge in one place.
And we watch cats.
Yeah. Or we, throw hate and shade at each other on Facebook or whatever. Like, it's amazing to me.
Yep, it's amazing.
But YouTube was a good resource for you. You signed up. The program you signed up for, is that like an online coaching program? Like, do you interact with real humans over the phone at some point, or is it just mainly like watching videos? And
so they do several coaching calls every week, and each person that's leading the call is an expert in that area. So Mike's wife, Jess, handles all of hiring and pricing, and you can come to them on your call or even on their platform. They use like a school platform, and you can post comments to the community so everybody else in the group right then.
Oh, it's cool.
They have one for it's their rich niche method is finding where you are standing out as a company. And so that's Mike himself. And then they have a guy who helps you with your website. And they have a guy who helps you with, everything else on the business end, going to get your LLC and all of those things. And it's honestly helpful for a lot of reasons, especially that you're able to, like I said, go through this is how we did it. I did my LLC myself, and I regret that. Going back, I would have hired somebody else to do it because that's what they specialize in.
When you say you did it yourself, did you use like a legal Zoom, or did you like legit file the paperwork yourself?
I filed all the paperwork myself.
Did you mess anything up?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, it's okay. You know what I mean? Like,
you figured it out, but you probably created some challenges for yourself that didn't need to exist.
And that's something where, you only learn from experience. So to save the $500, I spent probably an accumulation of maybe a week's time.
Yeah.
And that's
fixing the issues that you created by doing the paperwork yourself. Yeah.
Googling all the forms, you submit to the you got to put a post on 2 papers, and you got to do all of this stuff. And if it's not right, they come back at you. And now it's just one more thing on your plate that you have to deal with. Oh, well, I've got to get back to the state.
Amidst all the other stuff that you have to do.
Amidst all this other stuff. So that would be one thing. One piece of advice that I would give is hire somebody. I don't do social media. Somebody else does social media.
Yeah.
That's taken care of. I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yep.
Yeah, I always say leave the legal stuff to the legal people, the tax stuff to the tax people. Like those big things that marketing's one of those things where, I advise most people like don't hire a firm like us as long as you cannot hire a firm. As long as you can afford to do it yourself, please do it yourself because again, you can waste so much money paying bad marketers because there's a lot of them out there.
Yep.
None locally, I would say. But everyone local is great. And
I almost became one of those bad marketers.
Yeah, right. It's just one of those things. You can spend so much money on bad marketing, and do it, especially like social media stuff. Like do it yourself as long as you can until you either can not do it any longer because you're so busy doing all the other things, or you just don't want to do it anymore, and you can afford to pay someone else.
Yep.
So,
and that kind of brings up one of the biggest lessons that I had in my time in the military is I was the supervisor of a project, and we had mechanics working, and we had electricians, and we had plumbers, and we had carpenters, and they all came to me for answers. And one day our generator wasn't working, which put us at a standstill pretty much. And my chief says to me, "Why aren't you working with your mechanics to fix this?" I have no practical small engine skills.
Right.
Like they went to school for this. And so I told him well, my time is better spent, on other things. I've got paperwork I got to do, and I've got to help the carpenters, and I've got to help this and all these other things that you use your team effectively. You talk a lot about diversity. And to me, what diversity really means is finding the strengths of each of your team members and using them effectively. one of the first lessons I got in the military was there's a simunition, and if you don't know that, they put paintballs in regular rifles, and you go play. And so they handed an M16 to everybody except for the squad leaders, and they got an M9, which is the handgun, the service pistol, and they said, your primary weapon is your squad. You have enough to defend yourself.
Yeah.
Right? If I have to go in and clean, I can do that. Right? But I'm the last line of defense. My job is to make sure that my crew is well equipped, is trained, and functioning well. And part of that is empowering your team to make decisions. It's giving, hiring extra people so that way when, Bob has something going on at home and he can't come in, he doesn't have to feel bad because he's letting the team down. Well, because I have extra people, we can get the job done without you, so you can get your head right, so you can get back in the game.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that a lot. Your team is your weapon.
Your team is your primary weapon.
Primary weapon. That's true. I should say.
Yep.
So how many people do you have now?
So I have 5. I'm hiring 2 more because we have
That's amazing.
enough work, and they're all
in
part-time.
1 year of being in business.
Yep. And that's
So your wife's got to be feeling a little better about things.
Yeah. It was a little bit of a stretch. I didn't have a company vehicle. We just got a Prius for the business, and I was hemming and hawing on what to get for the business. Service van will carry everything. I've got a pickup truck for me for the business, and for me, having the fuel mileage was a way better win than having more cargo space.
Yeah,
because typically they have, you're only carrying a mop, a vacuum, some rags, and some chemicals. A Prius can handle that no problem. And if, we get a bigger job like, doing Taco Bell or whatever, then we have the backup to be able to transport everything and everyone.
Yeah.
And I don't really like the idea of the employees using their own vehicles. There's a lot of stuff that comes with that. But also, this is my business. They're helping me. And so why should they have to use their own vehicles, wear and tear? That's on me to provide. So that's why I do that.
How scary was it launching the business?
I started off slow. Like I said, my father always told me a man with a truck can always make money.
Yeah.
And that mindset really carried over because, I had an old Dodge Ram and I put a camper shell on so everything was watertight, and we were carrying everything inside. I was carrying everything inside every day. And so I started off slow, and I was making some money for kind of a proof of concept. And then when I got this mentorship, they're like, you don't need to be cleaning. The CEO does not need to be cleaning. And I do still clean. I enjoy it. I do find it cathartic. And I'm there to help the guys. So that way, if something comes up, oh, you need this, let me go run and grab it.
Yeah.
That's my job to keep them moving forward. But I mean, I've been prepping and thinking about starting a business my entire life. And to me, not doing this was more scary, because you could spend, you can get close to retirement, and then the week before you're set to retire, they can fire you.
Yeah.
And you've got nothing.
I always look at it, you trade one set of problems for another set of problems.
Yeah.
And the illusion of security in a W-2 job was just nothing I ever really subscribed to. I know some people love it, and sometimes maybe they feel like they're secure, but like you said, you can be fired any time unless you have a contract.
Yep. And it's really just choosing which problems you want to have.
Yeah.
When I was in Afghanistan, we worked on, the work was steady, monotonous. We built some things, some really awesome things. And some of the other things that I was used to worrying about kind of went away. You have uniform, so you don't have to worry about what you're going to wear that day.
Right.
You don't have to worry about what you're going to eat that day. They feed you. Sometimes it's not good. That's just. Let me tell you, I lost a lot of weight in Afghanistan between working all hours of the day and having that gross food. You just ate what you needed to survive. So you trade for securities.
Sure.
And there was definitely an interesting thought that I had while working out there. We did a lot of work, and so it's really just a matter of what problems you want to have.
Yeah, a lot of it's just perspective. So you mentioned that you love sales, and I love to hear you say that. And I laugh because I feel like anyone that's going to start their own business, run their own business, you better love sales, right? Like, what do you think?
I completely agree, because nobody can represent your business like you do. For me, one of the other best decisions I made was joining the Adirondack Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah, big shout out to the chamber. Those guys are great.
They're all great. It's an organization that has your interest in mind by having their interest in mind. Because if you get more members, you're advancing what they can do. They can help, and just going and meeting people. I'm always been a social creature, and that was the thing that I love best about sales, is just talking to people. If you can just talk to somebody, then you can really see if your services are something that they need, they want, and you can help them. When I was selling solar, one of my bosses was like, "You're not selling solar. You're making friends, and you're helping your friends save money." It turns out that wasn't strictly true with solar, the company I was with, but that's neither here nor there. That's what I learned from them, is just go be yourself, go talk about your family, be their friends, and help them.
Yeah, I think if you're always trying to bring value and help people, it's not really selling, right? It's just kind of, like you said, it's just making friends, man.
Just making friends,
hanging out, drinking coffee,
and a byproduct of that is then you have friends when you need them. When I need something small built, I've got some companies that I talk to. When I have any problem, my friends come to me. Oh, I need this. Okay, well, I know a haul-off company, or I know somebody who can come fix your door.
Yeah.
I mean, I could come fix your door, but I don't really have time to.
Right.
But
it's not what you do.
It's not what I do.
Yeah. I think that's one of the things that we've learned. The hardest lesson that we've learned is to really say no when I always want to help everybody out, right? I always want to, what do you need? Acts of service, man. Here we go. I'm there for you. You need me to help you move? You need me to cut that tree down for you? But it's like, if it's not what you do, and you got to say no sometimes.
And then you're interrupting your other services to help this one guy you're not really an expert at. I was reading some post or watching some video where the guy, he was cleaning the house, and then they were going to he was painting, and the floor needed to be done. So he's like, all right, well, I'll get a floor scraper and do this. Well, he totally messed it up.
Yeah.
Because that's not what he does.
It's not what he does.
Yep.
Stay in your lane, man.
Stay in your lane.
Stay in your lane.
Do what you're good at, and keep moving forward.
Yeah. So you're in 5 employees, about to add 2 more, which is amazing.
Yep.
Now, are you still doing any residential? Because you mentioned it before. Are you all commercial now?
So I have a couple left, and it's the old ladies who, I don't know if they actually need my cleaning service, but they just want to hang out. And so when I come to clean those, I bring one of my employees. My employees cleans, and I say,
and you hang out, have the tea.
And that's a great, it's a great morning. You know what I mean? And I'm just hanging out with my friend, providing a service. They don't need me anymore. I've gotten them up to, once you start cleaning regularly, you don't really, certain people don't need it all the time. So it's just a matter of hanging out, and I enjoy doing that.
Yeah. And
it brings joy to my life, and it brings joy to her life. So, I've got 1 or 2 more little jobs, and it's more because I want to be there.
Sure.
Yep.
So everything else just is commercial cleaning, like office space.
Office space, yep.
Or post-construction that you're doing, like for Juan and Amy over at Hunt Companies.
We also do post-construction on the residential side. We'll do post-construction, and we'll do like a move-in, move-out kind of clean. So we work with a lot of realtors, and that's something that they can provide. I wouldn't want to move into a house that hasn't been cleaned,
Well, and legally, I mean, it's supposed to be broom swept, right? So it's like to move into a house, to be able to pass that torch, so to speak, of home ownership to someone, you've got to have it at least somewhat clean.
Yeah, but there's so much buildup that happens through just life, like stoves and ovens and just marks on the walls from your kids or anything that happens. It's a great start, and I really like providing that, and I really like the wow when the new owners come in and say, wow, you did a really good job.
Yeah.
And that's That's really high praise.
Yeah, I know. Being able to just move your stuff in without having to clean the house is really nice.
Yeah.
Like we had to, the house that we live in now, we had to clean it when we moved in. And, we get the keys, like stoked to move into the new house, like, oh, let's sleep in the house tonight, and then you're like grabbing beds and mattresses, and then you get there and it's like, oh, this place is so gross. Like I got to clean first, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
And dust just gets everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
It just gets everywhere.
It gets everywhere.
Yeah.
So, I know we're running short in time, and I don't want to keep you here all morning, but anything else that we want to visit as far as your services, who you're working with?
I mean, as far as us, I think we've talked enough about us. What I did want to leave with is, yes, it's scary to start on your own, but you don't have to jump in 2 feet first.
Mm-hmm.
Go into the county and getting a DBA, choosing a name that starts you on your journey. You're a business owner.
Yeah.
And from there, you can just, maybe apply for a couple credit cards, start building your credit history for your company. And from there, you have the ability to do things. Mm-hmm. I've got a friend who's hemming and hawing about starting a junk removal company.
Yeah.
And once you get that start, you're started, and even just if you get just a name, you're still in business. And then you can start taking on jobs. You can go get your insurance.
Yeah.
You can build from there, and all you need to do is start. And even if you do just one step a day, and that's my friend Brandon Eastman, that's his thing.
Oh, yeah.
Just do one thing every day that advances. And they talk about that with my mentorship. Just do a little bit every day.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be overwhelming. Just get started.
Yeah, as they say, right? Best way to eat an elephant.
Yeah.
One bite at a time.
Never had elephant, but
No.
no.
Me either.
I when I was deployed in Japan, they had more exotic food. So I've had ostrich and shark, and most of it was just terrible. I'm assuming elephant would be the same.
I'm sure there's a website somewhere that you could probably buy some elephant steaks off of. Sorry to all the people that don't like that. How about where can people find you guys if they're interested? They want to hire you or they want to learn more.
So 518wgjs.com. So 518 White Glove Janitorial Service is what that stands for. We're offering a promotion right now, 35% off your first month.
Oh wow,
and
that's
I feel
a big
like
discount.
That's a big discount, and I feel like that makes it more palatable. We do month to month instead of yearly agreements. And so after the first month, if you don't see the value in us, no harm, no foul.
Yeah.
And I really like that because it's a good thing. You're not signing a contract for a long period. It's a good thing for both of us.
No, I agree with you. We actually, when we switched our model from the yearly contracts to what we call time bank, that was a big thing for us was, listen, there's no obligation that you have to work with us next month. The only thing that's going to make you want to come back is if we do a great job.
Yep.
Right? Like doing a great job is its own contract. So that's awesome.
One more thing is I want to shout out to my team.
Yeah.
Because they are my business. They are my livelihood. And they do a great job. And I appreciate them.
Yeah. Well, thanks for coming on, man. We appreciate spending time. Appreciate you coming and tell us a little bit about your business and who you are. And you said you're on social media too, so you got your website, you're on the socials.
Yeah, I don't do really great with that, but
me either, man.
It's there.
It's there. All right, that's awesome. Well, thanks again for coming on, everybody. Check them out, 518wgjs.com. Okay, 518 White Glove Janitorial Service.
Yep, that's
All
me.
right. And thanks for your service.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you for the support and also
any way we can help, man. Yeah,
as well.
We're here for sure.
Yep.
All right, sir. Enjoy the day.
You too.
The superpower that every citizen has is the ability to control where they spend their time, money, and attention. By focusing these on supporting local businesses, you are having a profound impact on your friends, your family, and your local community. So if you want to change the world, you can start with buying local.